Wait, before you pick a side, pause for a second, because this conversation around JY Park isn't as black and white as social media is making it seem. On the surface, it looks like another powerful CEO telling idols to smile through the pain. But once you zoom out, you realize this debate cuts straight to the core of K-pop itself. Is idol life about being human or being professional at all costs? When clips from JY Park's appearance on PSICK show started circulating, fans reacted fast and emotionally. He explained that when his artists are having a bad day, emotionally or physically, his advice is simple. Yes, bad days happen, but looking visibly depressed or sad can make everyone around you uncomfortable. So even on the toughest days, he encourages his artists, Stray Kids, Twice, and others, to crack a joke, lift the mood, and keep the atmosphere light. In his mind, that's part of who they are and what they do. For many fans, that statement hit a nerve, because to them, it sounded less like guidance and more like emotional suppression. The idea that idols should mask their pain for the comfort of others immediately raised red flags. Fans began asking the obvious question: if idols are constantly told to hide their emotions, when do they ever get permission to feel them? And more importantly, where does that pain go? That's where the backlash exploded. Mental health advocates argued that this kind of mindset doesn't eliminate emotional struggles, it just pushes them underground. When artists are discouraged from showing vulnerability, they may internalize stress, anxiety, and exhaustion until it reaches a breaking point. And in an industry already infamous for burnout, intense schedules, and relentless scrutiny, that's not a small concern. It's a dangerous one. Many fans went even further, saying this philosophy reduces idols to polished products rather than human beings. Always smiling, always joking, always on, as if their value depends on how comfortable they make others feel, regardless of what's happening inside them. And that fear isn't coming out of nowhere. We've seen too many idols suddenly disappear from schedules, only to later reveal they were barely holding on. That's why ITZY Lia's 2023 hiatus became such a central example in this discussion. Her step back for mental health reasons forced fans to confront an uncomfortable question. If idols are expected to endure silently and maintain a cheerful image, does that delay necessary help? Does it normalize ignoring warning signs until the situation becomes severe enough that stopping is the only option left? For many fans, Lia's hiatus felt less like an isolated case and more like evidence of a system that waits too long to intervene. But here's where the conversation gets complicated, because not everyone thinks JY Park is entirely wrong. Some fans pushed back against the outrage, arguing that his words were being taken out of context. They pointed out that K-pop is, at its core, a performance-based industry. Image isn't optional, it's part of the job description. When idols step into public spaces, they're not just representing themselves, they're representing their group, their company, and a massive production machine involving hundreds of people. One person's mood can affect the energy of an entire team. From that perspective, JYP's advice sounds less like emotional neglect and more like workplace realism. In any high-pressure profession, entertainment, sports, even corporate leadership, there are moments when personal feelings have to be temporarily set aside, not erased, not ignored forever, but managed. Advocates of this view argue that professionalism doesn't mean you don't struggle, it means you learn how to function while seeking support behind the scenes. They also emphasize something often overlooked in online debates. Performance culture didn't start with K-pop. The phrase, "the show must go on," has existed for generations. Actors perform through grief, athletes compete through pain, performers are trained to compartmentalize emotions, not because it's healthy all the time, but because the job demands consistency. In that sense, JY Park's mindset isn't unique, it's inherited. So now we're stuck between two uncomfortable truths. One side says forcing idols to smile through pain is emotionally damaging and outdated. The other says expecting performers to manage their emotions in public is a realistic requirement of the industry they chose. And frustratingly, both sides have a point. The real issue might not be whether idols should always look happy, but whether they have safe, judgment-free spaces to not be okay. Whether companies actively provide therapy, rest, and real autonomy instead of relying on be positive as a coping strategy. Smiling on stage is one thing, being denied emotional support offstage is another. What fans are really asking for isn't perfection, it's balance. A system where professionalism doesn't cancel humanity, where idols can lift others up when needed, but also be allowed to fall apart privately without fear of consequences, where hiatuses aren't treated as failures, but like maintenance. This debate shows how much the conversation around mental health in K-pop has evolved. Fans are no longer satisfied with surface-level positivity. They want transparency, they want accountability, and they want idols to survive, not just succeed. So maybe the real question isn't whether JY Park is right or wrong, it's whether the industry is finally ready to grow beyond old rules that no longer fit a generation that values mental health as much as talent. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think JY Park's advice is a harsh reality of the entertainment world or an outdated mindset that needs to change? Where do you personally draw the line between professionalism and emotional honesty? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into the stories shaping K-pop today, make sure you're subscribed to Daebak Daily.